no punchline, dude.
Yeah, so that's the thing, because with comedy, I haven't really done open mics much in the last couple of years because I find that when you do open mics, you have to really get prepared mentally for open mics. Larry, you remember how it was at Marty's in South?
Oh, yes.
Dog.
Yes, sir.
Tell the people I know about the open mic experience, the shit you got to sit through and deal with.
Like watching paint dry. You will literally lose 3 years off of your life sitting in open mic.
Yeah. It'll seem like 3 years.
Yeah, it'll seem like 3 years. And you have to sit through a bunch of bullshit jokes. It's 32 comedians. You're number 61 on the list. So you just have to sit through a bunch of bullshit, and 92% of it is not funny at all.
Oh, totally agree. Totally agree with you, man. And the sad thing is you'll get a guy that does his 5 minutes or something, and he says one thing that is almost funny, so one person laughs, and then sadly that encourages him.
Hey, and Larry was that person. Larry, we'd be at mics together, and there'd be people on stage drowning. Yeah. And Larry's even as much shit as Larry talk, he's a good-hearted fellow. Yeah. So the person will say something that's just halfway not funny,
and Larry would laugh.
And then Larry would give him a laugh,
kind person.
And I look at Larry like, "Fuck!
Why did you laugh at him?"
And now we have 7 more minutes of this shit because you laughed. He was ready to tap out at a minute and a half, and then Larry, ha ha ha, like, fuck.
You know, I wasn't laughing because I thought the joke was funny.
Oh, here it
I
comes.
was laughing.
I know exactly.
I was laughing because
the
cocksucker got up there and just thought he was funny, and I was laughing at him, thinking he was funny.
Yeah, because it's so bad you have to laugh. It actually becomes funny because it's so bad.
Yeah,
exactly.
Oh God,
so that's what it is with the comedy.
Yeah, it's like watching paint dry. That's a perfect description.
I'm good with that. So now with comedy, where do you find yourself usually? Where do you perform normally?
I do like Ice House once in a while. I do Rudy in town. I do Rudy's show, and then I do Ventura. And
I did Ventura before. I like that. But I gotta get back in. I
yeah,
gotta get back
and
up
it's
there.
I'm in Canoga, so it's like it's like 45 minutes.
Okay, you're
so
in Canoga.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then I do the Ha Ha lot,
Okay.
and it's fine.
Uh-huh.
And then then I just do the road.
Okay.
And
that's where I am right now. Like I'm at the point because I've been doing like a lot. I've just recently been getting back out into Hollywood and some of the feature kind of clubs.
Yeah.
Because I've basically only been doing bars and shit the last few years because they pay. And, and I've always liked that challenge of making people laugh in environments that aren't necessarily conducive to laughing.
And
it's
bars,
just fun to me.
Yeah.
But when you get them, you really get them.
Yeah. I'm always said if you can do 45 minutes in a bar and do well, you can probably do anywhere.
Yeah. And so that's what I've been doing. So I've been really working out in those musty ass environments, and so now I'm at the point to where it's like, okay, now it's time to get on the road and take this shit.
And with the bar shows, there aren't any politics.
Yeah, you get your ass on the stage and laugh.
Right.
They don't say you can't say this and don't talk about that. And you don't have some dickhead headliner coming in saying and just avoid this subject and that subject. You deal with the most sensitive motherfuckers in this comedy game.
It's crazy. It's like, look, if you don't like. Carlin said it so well. If you don't like something, change the channel. If you don't like something, leave.
God damn it.
No one's forcing you to watch anybody.
Nobody.
Nobody grabbed you by a nose and put a ring through it and then dragged you into a bar. It's like, get out of here.
Like, get over your goddamn self.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the world,
oh, I'm so hurt.
Everything ain't gonna make you laugh.
Oh my God.
You're not gonna necessarily like everything. It is what it is. Get over your fucking self.
It's crazy now.
Yeah, man. Which makes me want to. Speaking of that, let's go ahead and transition into what something's going on. We're gonna talk a little bit. I'm gonna have my man Matthew's gonna call in about 5 minutes. But Larry, before he call in, I want to get some of what you got to say about this. LeBron and China. For those who don't know what's going on, we talked a little bit about this last week. We talked about it from the side of China and the Rockets GM speaking out of line in that country. Am I here to say China's the greatest place on earth? No, I don't know much about China. I've studied China from a novice sort of point of view, don't know him in depth. One thing I do know is I can't sit here in the United States and judge no other country for anything. Can't do that because we got our own shit going on here in this house, and I don't have an opinion on what's going on over there. And second of all, if I do have an opinion about what's going on over there, I'm going to say it over here, not over there. Out of respect for them and their culture, because I don't know the full context of anything without having a full understanding of that culture. So, the Rockets GM said some things about China and this stance on Hong Kong. And LeBron James basically, I don't quite know what he said, but no, he said that the Rockets GM should maybe be punished, and he said some things, but I don't, and I'm not, I mean, y'all know me, I ain't the biggest goddamn LeBron fan by any stretch, but I'm befuddled as to what's going on. Larry, what do you think is going on with LeBron in China and the NBA?
Well, I am the resident LeBron fan on this show solely because I was born in Akron and so was he.
Wow.
He accused Daryl Morey,
Okay.
my favorite team's GM, of being uneducated about the whole thing. But LeBron didn't offer an educated point of view. If you're going to accuse somebody of being uneducated on something, your first duty to the people is to educate them.
Yeah, amen, bro.
And then offer your opinion.
Well, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I didn't even see it from that angle. Go ahead, Keith.
Okay, so here's the thing that's sad about how things are today. Everybody wants to see things in black and white or stop and go. Things are gray.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the first thing. And what I mean by that is this. Mao Zedong, okay, it's communist China. When he took over in 1949, he killed 50 million. 50 million of his own people.
50.
He makes Hitler look like a choir boy. Hitler killed about 10 million people. This guy killed 5 times that many people, and it was his own people. Okay? China from 1900 to the year 2000 killed more Christians and Buddhists than have been killed in the history of the world in the first 1800 years. Okay, so there's that. Then there's also the fact that China's been invaded over and over by Japan, that whole thing, like in the 1900s. The British came in, they brought opium to them. There's a lot of bad stuff on that. Then Britain and China had that treaty, which lapsed in 1999, but Hong Kong would remain a democracy. Well, what's going on now is China's trying to impinge on that, okay? And it runs out, I think, in 49. So, of course, the people in Hong Kong, they're pushing back.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's all those things in the mix. That's the gray.
Yes.
Okay, then getting back to what Larry said, there's some racial aspects to this too, okay? Because if you're black and you're really famous and you have a lot of money and you say something, it's like there's always that. There's one thing about no one had a problem with LeBron giving his opinion until somebody disagreed with LeBron.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Now, Larry, I agree with him. 50% of me agrees with him, and then 50% is, well, yeah, you probably should. If you're not educated, you probably shouldn't say something on it. But first of all, why are we asking a 34-year-old basketball player that he's supposed to be the expert on the whole world and the history of the world when he just, your obsession is basketball.
Yes.
Okay, so when he speaks about Akron or racism or something going on in the United States, that's something he sees every day and he knows.
Yes.
So, I think Daryl Morey was right. I would stick up for him at any point because what he said was true. What I will say about LeBron is Daryl could have waited till they came home. Now, because maybe he put some players at risk over there.
And to me,
that's where I kind of agree with.
Me, that's where the biggest thing what it was. Look, in the United States, we have free speech.
Right.
Here. But you're there. Even if you're not physically there, your business, your team,
when you're a guest in somebody's home.
That has always been my whole. When in someone else's home, abide by their rules.
When in Rome, when in Rome, yeah, there you go.
The Romans.
There you go.
When you're in someone else's home, in someone else's casa,
which Morey wasn't.
But his team, but his business.
But he should have waited till they came back.
Because even if you're not physically there, the thing you make money off of, your industry,
Right.
the thing that represents you is there,
And
you're making money off them at this time.
And let me piggyback onto that. Maury's known for a long time that we're making money off of them.
Yeah.
You know, you can't get in bed with the devil and then blame the devil for the devil being the devil.
Since
Does
Yao
that
Ming,
make sense?
yeah, going back to them making
We've
money
been
with
in there
China.
since David Stern back in, I don't know, was it 88, 89? That's when
but for the Rockets specifically,
Right.
when they drafted Yao Ming,
Right.
They remember back when they had the draft, it was Jay Williams or Yao Ming. Who was going to be the next?
Right.
Everyone, the conventional Williams said Jay Williams. He came from Duke. You know what I mean? Great. It looked like he was going to be a great point guard before
Right.
his motorcycle accident. Or do you take 7'7" Yao Ming?
Right.
When most 7'7" players before that generally got injured and
Right.
weren't that good.
Right.
So it was a really big
Always the
toss-up.
leg problems with guys over 7 feet.
It's always that. And
Yep.
so
Andrew Bynum being
Andrew
the
Bynum.
perfect example of a guy.
I remember that when they got Yao, getting Yao it was a basketball move too. It was a business move first.
Absolutely.
Because
Totally
I remember
agree
when they
with you.
drafted Yao, they said,
Yeah.
now you have 1 billion watchers
Yeah.
from across the pond. So you reached out to China through that move, you know what I mean,
Yep.
of getting Yao Ming.
Yep.
And since then, remember, like,
And
Yao
by the way,
Ming-
he's head of their basketball federation.
He's out of their
over
basketball
there.
federation.
Yes.
Yao Ming, remember T-Mac, even when T-Mac wasn't shit anymore because of injuries,
Right.
would still get voted on to the All-Star team
Right.
because of votes
Yep.
out of China?
Yeah.
Yep.
No,
Yeah. Yeah,
not
you're
only,
right.
Not only the NBA in China, the
Yep.
Houston Rockets in China specifically.
And that's all
More
tied
than
to
any other
and
team.
Daryl and Yao and those guys are all still tied
Yes.
together.
More
and
than
they
any
were
other
the big,
team.
and that was the beginning of it with the Rockets. And
Yeah.
so yeah, the time did what Daryl say was right? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Was his timing bad? Now, back to what Larry said on the education thing. You know, I think everybody kind of jumped. I agree with Larry on the education thing. It would be better. But then again,
Larry's
well, no, every time something
Hold on.
happens, they go to LeBron
Yeah.
and they want him to say something.
as if he's the representative.
And
Hold
it-
that thought for 1 second because I asked somebody calling. Hey, Larry, I'm going to have you call back, all right?
Okay. All right. I got
All right. All right, we good. All right. On the line, what's up? Is this Matt? Oh, no. What's up, Matt? How you doing today, brother?
Hey, man, you know, another day, another dollar, man. How's everybody doing?
We're doing good. We're doing good. We want to bring you in on this conversation that we have, and we're talking about LeBron in China right now. And were you listening in before you called in?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know where we at. What are your thoughts on what's going on with LeBron in China?
I mean, it's one of these things where, like, it's weird to me. Like, you got a man who, when he speaks about politics within his own country, everybody tells him, "Hey, you need to just concentrate on sports."
Oh,
And,
yeah. Laura Ingram.
You know, then he sits there and he says, "Look, we're not educated about what's going on in China," and now, like, everybody's like, "Oh, well, he dropped the ball." And to me, it's like, why does he have to be the global? Like,
Yeah.
it's like they want him to be the Avenger or something.
Right.
And go
Avenger.
around, you know?
yeah, I totally agree with you,
Captain
dude.
America.
Yeah. Why can't he just play basketball?
And the only ball he needs to carry is the basketball. That's it.
Absolutely.
And going to what you were saying, here's one thing I do want to bring out. There was Matt. Did you hear that report this past weekend that before this whole controversy came out on the LeBron side of the game, that he was calling Adam Silver and people in the league office saying that Daryl Morey should be punished? Did you hear that story?
Oh, absolutely, I did. Yep.
And this is my thing. This is my take on that one. Is going back to the racial component, like what Keith was talking about, and it's two components, and they sort of intertwine: the racial component and the business component. The help, the servant, the worker has no right telling the management shit when it comes to punishment, and it's the same way when it comes to your job. If something is going on, we see what these criminals do with the CEOs in these companies, but you go to work every day. Why? Because if you said something, they'll fire your ass. And so LeBron broke the social order. Yes, you are the number one player. Yes, you are our cash cow. Yes, we love the money you make for us. Well, remember, you still just the cash cow.
Yeah.
Do you think the backlash that he received, and he's been receiving from the media, and the NBA is not covering for him, do you think it's because he stepped out of line and tried to get someone punished that's in higher power?
Oh, without question.
Yeah.
I mean, Adam Silver hasn't said anything.
Totally, yeah.
Nike hasn't come out and said anything.
Nike
Everybody's
ain't
been
said
quiet.
shit. I'm ready. Dog, say it again.
They ain't said. No one said nothing.
Yeah.
Like
And it's
usually
like I
Nike
told
would
somebody
give cover.
before. China. I think NBA got 1.6 billion from China.
Ooh.
If you told any corporation, listen, you can have LeBron James in the final years of his career, or you can have 1.6 billion dollars. They're gonna tell LeBron James, go ahead and go packing, bro.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, Keith?
This is really hard for me because what he just said opens such a huge can of worms for me on stuff that I was going to even ask you, but I'll just say it. He's absolutely right, and it goes right to the whole cop conversation in black people. It goes to everything.
Yeah.
It goes to every single thing that's going on in society right now.
Yeah.
Every day I get up, my wife's Filipino, okay,
Yeah.
and she grew up in the Marcos regime,
Yeah.
and her dad was locked up twice. My wife was in politics in the Philippines,
Okay.
which has the highest assassination rate
Watch
of
out, Manny
politicians,
Pacquiao, watch out.
politicians in the world. And she was in 20 years and didn't. So I don't mess with my wife, by the way. But the point being is, when people have power, and you're below that, and you open your mouth, yeah, we have free speech, but you're putting yourself at
Wink,
risk.
wink.
Wink, wink. You do have free speech, but when you exercise that, shit can go bad really quick.
Really quick.
and
Really quick.
it's like it's like the cop thing. It's the same thing. It's like you take a guy that gets an SAT score of over whatever, and he gets into college, and then that guy is a date raper in his fraternity. The guy that didn't get the high enough SAT score, he becomes a cop. Now, not all cops are bad.
Yeah.
Probably 90. It's like the priest thing. 95% of them are probably showing up to work every day. Black people want to be protected by the cops just like white people.
Of course.
But that 5% of the priest and the 5% of the cops are fucking it up for everybody else. And you get tired of opening the paper every day and seeing this crap.
Yeah.
Because I don't have a problem with black people.
Yeah.
I'm getting along with them. But you motherfuckers are screwing it up for the rest of us.
It's one of those things where I see it's the people. You don't need everybody. You need the ones that are in key positions to be. Because I look at like my brother.
But see, wealth doesn't want to do anything about it. This
and
is my
honestly,
point.
The way I see it, the wealth likes to keep it that way.
Wealth wants, that's exactly right.
Like the thing I don't like is the fakeness that we get from the media. Like, we're out here to solve the problems, and what's really going on? We need a conversation. No, you don't want to. Yeah, that's right. That's all you want is a conversation.
They're a cash cow too.
You also all you want is a conversation because you ain't doing shit.
But
go ahead,
but
Mike.
here's my problem, guys.
Yeah.
It's the lack of honesty about capitalism. China, United States, China owns 1.15 trillion of our debt. So now China's the bad guy. So everybody's going to stop buying manufactured stuff from Target, Walmart, and all these other companies. Like, China is killing the game right now. That's what they do.
Hey, Matthew, they just passed.
You know what? Hold on. We're China's bitch, is what he just said.
Right.
And he's exactly right.
It's not just that. China owns all this new development that we see going on and all these high rises. Guess what country's paying for that shit? China.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, they just passed a law this past June that said that we can export the chickens that were killed and slaughtered here, export them to China for processing, and then come back to the United States. Yes, that just got legalized this past.
Oh my God!
This past June.
And people may not remember this, but when we were having problems with Russia, guess who told America they got to chill? China, because China got business interests with Russia. So it's like everybody keeps talking like LeBron is
sacrificing his principles and his morals.
Yeah.
Well, we in the United States. Don't no one sacrifice their morals better than we.
Nobody. And then
Totally agree with you, dude. You know what it is? All LeBron becomes in that conversation. You know how the magician says, "Here's a quarter over here," and then here's the rabbit.
Yeah.
They want you to look at the quarter while they disappear the rabbit because they don't want to see you. They don't want you to see how they make the rabbit disappear. He is exactly right.
Yeah, and so like when we come down to it, and we're talking about all these things, and when I talk about racism, one thing I like about Keith is a person that never got insecure when I talk about racism, because he's a person that knows it's not personal. It's not a personal me hate you thing, and so when we talk like going back to the racial component, when I was talking about LeBron and what's going on with China and all these things, racism is a thing that's used. It's the what do you call it? It's the social hierarchy used to keep us divided. If we take this back to England and the feudalism, in feudalism they had you had your kings, your nobles, your serfs, and your peasants.
Right.
You know what I mean? And what they did in America was take that same hierarchy, twist it on the side, and put it on shades of color. So when you know that that's the hierarchy used to divide people, you can talk about these issues because the ultimate goal in us talking about these issues is to solve them, not to say you did this and I did that and let's keep the shit going on in perpetuity. It's to talk about it's to point out how systematically people are treated differently. Yeah. And so
hold on, and acknowledging it.
It.
Let me do that right now. I would like to say this. I've been waiting to get on a show like yours so I can say this. I want to ask for forgiveness to any black people out of there for what my people did to you, what they continue to do to you. I'm asking. I'm not even apologizing. I'm asking for your forgiveness because when you ask, you're saying, I don't necessarily. Don't necessarily. You can say yes or no. Yeah. I'm not saying I'm sorry because that assumes that you're going to accept my apology. Yeah. I'm asking you for forgiveness for what white people have done to you. It was wrong. It's wrong that it's still going on. It needs to.
It's one of those things.
It needs to stop.
It needs to stop, and it's one of those things where we see it, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that from you. But it's one of those things where I don't even look at it, and it's something a burden that you have to put on yourself to apologize for what the system does. But the one thing that we can do when it comes to the system is when we see the system doing what it does, be the person that's not going to fall into it. If you're that juror, and if you're the person that apologizes, that feels that that you know what's going on, and you're out there and you're listening on iHeartRadio, and you say, okay, what can I do? Here's what you can do. If you're selected to a jury and you see and you're listening to the case and you see someone being railroaded and you see another juror saying, okay, just lock him up because he's that I don't have time, be the person that stands up and say, no, we're not going to let this person go to jail so we can go. I'm going to stand up and I'm going to vote innocent. If I feel that way, I'm not saying just let everybody off because they, you don't want that.
No,
if a motherfucker stabs somebody and you got proof they stabbed them, send their ass to jail. But if you know it's some bullshit, if you're at work and you see some bullshit going on and someone's being discriminated against because of the color of their skin, you be the person that say, I'm not going to participate in that. That's wrong. And if y'all do it, I can't just do shit about it, but you won't have my cosign. Do something within the system that you're in. Yeah. Be the cog in that system. Yeah. Don't be the person that allows it to perpetuate around you at least. You can't do shit when you ain't around. But if you are around, don't be a part of that. And if you're that kind of person that feels that way and you're that kind of person, that's a way we can dismantle the system the way it is, And that's why, again, like I said, I want you. And plus for other people, like other black people hear how I talk and they be thinking, oh, you just hate. No, nobody got time to hate shit. Yeah. We're here to solve problems. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or
try.
Or at least try.
You have to make an effort. You
can only do it, but you can only do what you can do.
Yeah, try in your own world.
Michael
try
Jackson
to do
said, if you want to make the world a better place, you got to look at yourself and make that change. Yeah. You change the world by changing yourself, goddammit. Yeah. So that's my little spiel for the day. But I do want to keep this going on, talking about sports.
Sorry, I didn't mean to
No,
get off.
you're good. No,
I just when he said that,
I'm glad you did that.
I had
because
to say it.
I didn't. I know what I was gonna say. What I just said. I wasn't planning on saying that.
Yeah.
I said that off what you said, so I appreciate that.
But he hits on so many things.
Matt, man, I want y'all to follow Matt. He's the draft review. Follow him on Facebook. If you want to know anything about the NBA going back to the NBA's inception, this is the dude to talk to, Matthew Maurer on the phone.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So back to what we was talking about when it came to basketball. We got a season coming up. It's coming up on Tuesday.
Lakers.
We got a bunch of duets and duels out there. What are your predictions? What do you see? How do you see the season unfolding? And Matthew, I want you to give it to me in halves. What do you see? Who's going to get out the gate from now through the All-Star break, and who do you see finishing out? And how do you see, things changing?
Well, I think Milwaukee in the first half of the season, I think they're going to continue to be on a roll. I think they're the top team in the East. But again, we don't know what Philadelphia is going to look like now because they got Horford.
Yeah.
They've got Ben Simmons is, there. Supposedly he's extended his range. As everybody's seen, he's hit an actual three.
I saw.
And then there's Boston. Boston could definitely, they had addition by subtraction. I think they had too many mouths to feed last year.
Oh, yeah.
And I think this year maybe that can, this is a big year for Boston. And a lot of people don't like it when I say this, but for some weird reason, the head coach there has got this mantle of being like the next Popovich, and he really hasn't shown it yet.
Yeah, I know.
So, if he don't do it this year, you got to kill that Popovich talk because that means he's just a really good coach. He's just not a genius.
So who's coming out the East?
Hey, can I
I got.
Hold on.
Who?
Oh, no, I just wanted to ask you a question real quick on that. I wanted to piggyback on that. So do you think Boston, now that Kyrie's gone, that they'll start playing like they were right at the end of the year before last in the playoffs when they didn't have – when he got hurt and they were really – Tatum and those guys were really coming along. They almost made it into the finals in the East.
No, I don't – I think they did to Kyrie what – the Boston media wanted to do to Kyrie, and that's hold him for everything that went wrong with Boston. Because no one wanted to take accountability that maybe Brad Stevens isn't this coach that people think he is. Maybe Jason Tatum isn't this elite player that everybody said he was after his rookie year.
So blame Kyrie.
Every other sport that rookie comes out and he does really well, we say, well, let's wait till next year.
Right.
With Jason Tatum, he played so well, people were like, oh, he's an all-star. He's going to be really good.
He's the next Kobe.
No.
People try to push the next Kobe thing on him. And you're right about that. So what do you see happening in the East? Who's coming out that East, man?
I really like Philadelphia. I think Philadelphia is going to surprise some people.
They were one shot away last year.
And they had good chemistry with Tobias Harris the first time around. Now he's back.
Correct. And I think Jimmy Butler leaving gives them a little bit more locker room patience. I mean, getting Al Horford, definitely a glue guy.
Yes.
So I really like Philadelphia this year.
And Al Horford plays big in big games. You know what I mean? He's somebody that during a big game, he's going to be steady. And that's something that they missed last year. Do you think they're going to miss J.J. Redick?
Good.
Do you think Philly's going to miss J.J. Redick?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. For sure. I mean, that's a huge piece to lose in today's NBA, which is elite three-point shooting. So, without a question, they're going to miss him. But he was a big-time problem on the defensive side of the ball. I mean,
yeah,
when you got the last 4 minutes of a game, he can't guard a chair. It's like.
Hey, you right about that? Who coming out the West?
Ooh, hey, as usual, the West is always the best, and it's going to be an interesting fight between. I got three. I got the Clippers going first. I like LA second. If everybody stays healthy, and I like Denver third.
Okay. Keith, what do you have? Who's coming out the East? Who's coming out the West to you, Keith?
I agree with Philly.
Okay.
I think it's going to be them and Milwaukee in the finals in the East.
Okay.
Milwaukee who'd they lose? Middleton. They lost.
Yeah.
They
Yes,
lost.
okay.
They lost one guy. Yeah, I think it's those two, and I think the Lakers are going to be awesome if they. Again, I agree with him. If Davis has a history of getting hurt, LeBron's at that age, where people get hurt.
Yes.
So it's a knock on wood situation
Yeah.
for them. I'm a Laker guy, so of course
Yeah.
I'm prejudiced.
Yeah.
And the Clippers have 3 lockdown defenders.
Yes.
I mean, George, Kawhi, and Beverly is just a pest.
Yes.
My God. So that's like, and remember, they were good last year.
Yes.
Without George and Kawhi. So
Yes.
they're going to be beasts now. I hate to say it because I hate the Clippers, but they're going to be really good.
They're going to be really good, but they got those LA Times uniforms that they have coming out.
Yeah.
And here's I'm a huge Laker fan,
Me too.
but I have absolutely no faith in LeBron James when the games get big. He's gonna have to show me.
Yep.
Like, and if he shows it to me, I'm gonna be the first one to congratulate him, like I did. Like you saw, Matt, when he won in 2015. What did I do? I was the first person to say, "Good job." But with LeBron, you have to show me, because 9 times out of the 10, you're gonna be biting your nails when we need you. So I know he's looking good in the preseason. He's doing windmill dunks, and his head is hitting the top of the backboard. But my question is, are you gonna play defense at the end of March when we need to get up into that 3rd seed or 2nd seed? To avoid. Playing, to avoid being in that bottom half of the playoff run, because the West.
And they'll probably have to manage his minutes
Yeah.
for that to happen.
Yeah,
because you're 35 years old or 34, whatever he is, and then you got to play. Now you got the playoffs when you got to lock.
And I'm
people
okay
down.
with managing. My problem with LeBron is he doesn't know how to manage his time on his energy on the court. He spends his energy getting triple doubles and doesn't play defense. People say, "Oh, he doesn't play defense because of his age." No, it's because he doesn't spend 15. He's ran down the court 15 times on offense trying to pass to somebody and pad his stats.
Yeah.
When he should have said, "Okay, I have Kevin Love, I have Chris Bosh, I have Antoine Jameson. Now I have Anthony Davis. Let me give them the ball and let them go to work while I save my legs, because my man over here is scoring on me right now." And LeBron doesn't do that. You know what I mean?
The biggest problem with LeBron to me, legacy-wise, and the reason why people are so lenient, I can't even say lenient, are so against him being in the discussion as the best ever, and it's simple. It's because when the game is on the line, he's not going to take the Magic Johnson hook. No. When the game is on the line, he's not going to do the Michael Jordan pull-up. When the game's on the line, he's not Kobe Bryant saying, "Give me the damn ball."
And
it's LeBron is always, "Hey, Kyrie, where you at? Here's the ball." Like, "Hey, Dwayne Wade, where you at? Here's the ball." Like, he never says, "All right, give me the damn ball and let me kill stuff."
Yeah.
And just read his body language when the game gets tight. He's not even looking for the ball.
Yeah.
No.
And so, yes, that's the thing. So
And defensively, he's not a killer.
And defensively, he's not a killer.
Kobe and Michael were killers.
Yes.
Man, and by the way, good if Bradley can stay healthy, that's a big
that's a big pickup,
because he is a lockdown defender.
And
he is a bad dude.
That's what makes them. I'm not worried about the Clippers, because Avery Bradley, Patrick Beverly, that's a wash. But the Clippers don't have any size. 6'7" Montrezl.
No size.
Throw the ball down when the games get tight. Just throw the ball down low. You get it. You don't need. I don't have to dribble past Kyrie's past Kawhi and Beverly's good defense. I could pass their defense to the post and pound that little ass front line they got. You know,
Bradley and McGee actually become important dudes on this team. Because McGee plays some defense. He's like a guy that'll get on the floor. He'll do dirty work, and so will Bradley. If those guys stay healthy, that's going to be a big deal for the Lakers.
Cool. And I want to transition. I want to get Matt's thoughts before Larry calls back in on this on our last topic of the night. The WNBA. They're complaining that they don't get enough attention from the NBA. Quick story. Seattle Storm player, the story, you know how it is when you get ready to talk.
Now you don't got the
No, I have it, but my internet is moving real slow because I was
maybe we
trying
can
to read
send the
story.
WNBA to China.
Hey, I love that. Fuck out of here.
They got a billion people. Somebody will be looking at them.
Breanna Stewart, Seattle Storm, not a happy woman. On Thursday,
Breanna
Washington
Stewart.
Mystics and Connecticut Sun were set to meet for Game 5 of the WNBA Finals, a winner take all. But you wouldn't know it unless you just happened to stumble on it due to the lack of coverage it garnered. This is from TotalProSports.com. Shouts out to TotalProSports.com. Despite the fact that it was a game in the end of the WNBA season, nobody's watching because people was watching baseball. And so Breanna Stewart tweets and says, "It's a problem when Game 5 of the WNBA Finals is on in 6 minutes and we're discussing the NBA preseason. Not to mention, it aired on ESPN too." This is what I have to say to that, Breanna Stewart. Thank God you aired on ESPN 2 and not local TV because nobody watches that shit. Here's the thing. I'm going to let y'all talk 1 second. I want to get Matt's thoughts before Larry calls back in, and then get your thoughts, Keith, all right? Matt, have you ever do you watch WNBA basketball? You're a basketball fan. Do you watch?
I'm going to be honest with you. I watched this past playoff because Elena Deladon is a Delaware native.
Okay, so you
have.
Yeah. But
historically,
I did
traditionally. I did.
Traditionally, do you watch the WNBA?
No,
Why?
I don't. I can't even tell you. Can't tell you anything about the WNBA.
Who do you got in the East, buddy?
I want to know why don't you watch the WNBA? Just be honest.
Well, I'll be honest with you, and I took flack for this, but I'll just say it. You know, to me, men don't have a problem watching women play sports. You know, so many people say it's sexism. That's the reason why the WNBA isn't working. No, the WNBA isn't working because if I want to watch people play basketball at an elite level, I'll watch the men. And it's not that the women aren't elite. Sure, the women are elite for who they are and what they do, no doubt.
Yes.
But my problem is, you know, like I was watching a game, perfect example, and my daughter comes in and she goes, "Oh, who are the men playing?" She thought they were men. This is my daughter. She didn't know that they were women.
Some of them short ass
So
men
it's
out
like,
there with long hair.
Yeah, it's like I don't, you know, it's like they get the tattoos, they get the cornrows. It's like men will watch women's gymnastics all day. You know, we'll watch volleyball, we'll watch all sorts of sports
tennis,
that women are involved in.
All that.
That's actually a very good. Yeah.
So
this gymnastics,
yeah.
women's gymnastics is
the
highest rated sport in the Olympics.
It is. So Matt.
Oh,
so
good.
I because I know you're a basketball fan, so I wanted to thank you for getting your opinion on that, and thank you for calling in, Matt. We're gonna get you to come back in. I want you to call in pretty soon again. I'm when the season gets started. All right.
All right, my man.
I appreciate you, man.
All right, see you guys.
1 second, Matt. Where can they find you?
You can find me at my website, thedraftreview.com. I'm on Twitter, same name, The Draft Review, Instagram, and I'm on Facebook as Matthew Maurer. And if you're a friend of Dewan, type me up.
Follow. Thank you, man.
Nice.
Thank you. All right. Bring Larry back on the line. What's up, Larry?
Yo.
Larry, we talking about the WNBA, but before I get your reaction on what's going on in the WNBA, I want to hear what Keith has to say.
I'm pretty much kind of with Matt.
Uh-huh.
You know what I did enjoy watching when Connecticut kept playing Notre Dame the last 2 years.
Okay.
I actually watched those games. They were and the girl from Notre Dame, I think 2 years in a row hit a jumper with like less than 3 seconds.
I did see them highlight. I saw that highlight. That
cool.
was
pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, and they play at obviously Connecticut plays at a very high level.
Yeah.
So I can watch that, and I can watch like Deladonna is one of my favorite players.
Okay.
Candace Parker on LA. Those guys, I love Deladonna for a couple of reasons. She's a great player. She has her sister's got some issues physically, so she takes care of her sister.
Okay.
That's why she played at Delaware and didn't go to another school.
Okay.
So I like that about her, and I love Brittany Greer when she was throwing it down. But yeah, it's the same thing. It's like it's kind of like it's hard to go back and watch that after you've watched
It looks like they're playing
college
basketball.
Division I and then NBA. It's just
It looks like they're
not
playing
the same.
underwater. Just slower.
Yeah.
Yeah, Larry, what you think about this WNBA?
What was the young lady who said, what was her name that said the
Breanna
NBA
Stewart.
was
Breanna Stewart.
Okay. All right. Well, Ms. Stewart. Okay, so you're not receiving enough attention from the NBA, but let me tell you what you are receiving from the NBA in droves, and that's money to stay afloat. So my solution is, and I'm not being sexist because everybody knows I champion the cause of women. I do. You have to put a more interesting product on the floor to get more attention from the NBA because they're already keeping you guys afloat.
And you're right about that. You have to put more attention because this is what I don't like. When you watch, they always try to like. You ever see WNBA highlights? It's fake no-look passes. You looking right at her, you pass it to her, then you turn your head away 10 seconds later. That wasn't a no-look pass. And y'all doing no-look passes for layups. I can do that. Look, Westchester High School finishes around the basket better than any WNBA team I've ever seen. You know what I mean? So if you can't outdo Westchester High School, you can't expect me to watch like that. Like I said, no disrespect to women because I love women's gymnastics.
You know,
I love women's tennis.
Larry makes a really good point that you could take it to the college game, right? And you got basketball and football, which generates all of the revenue for all the other sports. No one's watching men's water polo.
No,
you know, you don't see 60,000 people paying to get in to see men's.
Yeah.
See, it is. He's right. It's not a sexist thing. It's just that
no one's watching lacrosse.
No one's watching lacrosse. You know,
but they do watch NCAA women's basketball.
People do watch. Look, yeah, like Tennessee, you know, Summit created such a great environment. They sell out. And so if you put a good product on the floor, then people will come. Geno's get a good product, and they sold out.
You make a good point because I can watch women's college basketball.
Right.
Like I have watched a fair amount of women's college basketball.
On the high
games.
level, you can watch it.
Yeah, but I have WNBA. And then it's the thing, every year they always have some new challenge. They'll have some trying to prove how good the WNBA is. They'll have a current WNBA player play against an ex-college Division III basketball player from the 80s who's been a plumber for the last 30 years, and she'll beat them by 1 point. And they'll be like, see, these women are better.
Yeah, the Bobby Riggs syndrome.
Are you serious? Like,
funny.
no. Let me see your best WNBA player play against your best 10th grade high school boys basketball player and see who wins.
There you go.
I guarantee that boy is going to dunk all on her. She going to have nuts in her mouth and not one of them.
It's going to be ugly.
Yeah, man. But I don't know, man. Larry, have you ever gone to a Houston? You in Houston. Yeah. Have you ever gone to a Cynthia Cooper Cheryl Swoops game back in the day?
I did back in the day. They played against the Phoenix Mercury. And I went. It was myself, my boy Moose, his son, and my brother. And we sat through 3 quarters, and it was so many women in the crowd kissing on each other that my boy Moose was like, we got to get out of here because I don't want to have this conversation with my son this young. And we left.
It was a bunch of carpet munching going on over there. Yeah, man. We about to get on out. We about to get out of time. Keith, man. How can they find you? Tell them what you got going now, and then how can they find you?
Keith Ross Nelson on Facebook, and then Keith Ross Nelson ran together on Instagram.
Okay, that's what's up. Anything new coming up that you have? Any shows coming up?
I'm going to Harvey's in November up in Portland, for the week. So
okay, great.
Headlining up there.
Great. Hardy's up in Portland. Look out for that. Larry, where can they find you? Any shows coming up?
Yes. First, you can find me on Twitter at Larry Goodwell, Instagram Larry_Goodwell, Facebook Larry Anthony Goodwell. Tuesday, I am at the Secret Group down in Houston. Show starts at 10:30, and October the 27th, I am featuring at the Houston Improv.
That's what's up.
Nice.
That's what's up. And I am Dewan Brown, Dewan B, DWANNB. That's on Facebook. That's on Twitter, Instagram, SoundCloud, YouTube. Dewan B. The Facebook site for the group site for the radio show is Hotep-ish, HOTEPISH. And they ask, why do you call it Hotep-ish? is because the word means peace and love and light. And I give peace and love and light, but I also talk a lot of shit too, so I can't claim it all. So I'm profound and profane. Remember this, there are no perfect messengers, only perfect messages for those who are willing to listen. Don't worry about what the person is doing. Look at the person, look at their character, because sometimes you can get game from the worst people. A broken clock is right twice a day. If someone is saying something that vibrates with you and it feels good, run with it. If it don't vibrate and it don't feel good, don't go with it. You know what I mean? So that's all I got to say about that. Have some wisdom. There are no perfect messengers, only perfect messages. My name is Dewan B. We out.